Oh yes, who doesn't love going to the movie theater? But one of the best parts about it are the snacks, the sweets, everything you bring in with you when you go to watch the movie. It's the concessions. Some people love eating some of the more savory stuff. Most people like going for the sweets, the different kind of candies, going in with it and the different drinks. It's part of the experience. So today, after doing multiple different tier lists on movies and TV shows, perhaps this might be my most controversial tier list. Because today I'm going to be ranking the best and worst movie theater snacks. These include all the sweets, the popcorn, the drinks, all that stuff, all the savory stuff people get. I'm going to be going through all of them and ranking them between S being superior, best of the best, all the way down to F being just terrible, bad overall. Like always, these tier lists are my opinion. There's going to be disagreements, there's going to be hot takes, but listen, comment section always open, love to hear about it. But before I get into this, please make sure to subscribe to stay up to date with the latest tier list reviews and all that good stuff. Really appreciate all the support. Well, without further ado, we got a lot of snacks and sweets to get through, so let's get to it. Alright, so first off is KitKat. In my opinion, Kit Kats are one of my favorite chocolatey desserts out there. It's so good. I could always go for a Kit Kat. One of my personal favorites. So, right off the bat, for me personally, and people are going to disagree, but for me personally, Kit Kat, we're starting off with a bang. We're going right in here, putting it on the S tier. Granted, it is a lower S tier. Next, we have Almond Joy. Honestly, not a huge fan of Almond Joy. Could go without it. It's not bad. I'm just not a huge fan of it. If I had to choose it in a lineup, probably would never do so. I really only have Almond Joys when there's really nothing else to eat. But because of that, it's more of a leftover snack, and definitely would not go for it if I'm gonna go watch a movie. So with that being said, I'm gonna be putting Almond Joy at a kind of unrespectable C tier. Alright, next we have what appears to be a Reese's Peanut Butter Cup. Honestly, again, when it comes to the chocolate realm, a big fan of Reese's Cups. I think that they are really unique. It's just the simplicity of it. I definitely could always go for one. Very solid. Again, there are a few chocolate treats that I would put over it personally, but if we're going for a movie theater, and what, sometimes it could be a little messy eating them. They're not as bite-sized. You don't really want to be dealing with a peanut butter cup when you're in there. So because of that, I'm going to be putting the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup at a high B tier, very high B tier. Next, we have a good shareable sort of bite-sized, the first of its kind on this list so far, hot tamales. Hot tamales are okay. I've always found it kind of strange that they decide to add sort of a more of a spicier touch to candy overall. It's shareable, which is nice. That's a good touch when going into the theater. Obviously, you want to have something that you can kind of pass around. But hot tamales wouldn't even be in my top 5 picks if I were to choose what to bring in with me, let alone outside of that. They have a unique taste, and yeah, they have a little kick to them, which is nice. It does work out in the end. I do find it kind of odd, but hot tamales do work in their flavor. But with all that being said, I really wouldn't go in there with them, honestly. Hot tamales is a C tier for me. All right, moving on to Junior Mints. I always forget they exist. Have never gone out of my way. You'll never see me go to concession and say, yeah, I'll have a Junior Mints. They're okay at best. They're all right. It's nothing crazy. Not much to say about Junior Mints, to be honest. I'm also going to be putting them. I'm going to go for it. I'm going to put them in the D tier. I'm sorry for all the people who love Junior Mints out there, but yeah, this is going to go in a D tier. Honestly, I've never ordered fries at a movie theater. I think it's kind of greasy and messy. Nah, it wouldn't be my preferred. Fries are good, but it really depends on how you like them made. Some people like them crispier, some people like waffle fries as opposed to regular fries. There's a whole umbrella, a whole cinematic universe of fries out there. So, it totally depends on the place. But let's say that, if we're going with fries that are pretty good, they're crispy, they're hot, still wouldn't be my go-to. I definitely would order nachos or cheese sticks or something else over that if I were to have to choose between them as far as going into the theater with them. So with that being in mind, I would, I mean, fries are, I like fries, again, alone, outside, but if we're putting it into the context of going to a movie theater with them, I'm going to go with a C tier. I think they're greasy. You don't want to be dealing with that. All right, next up we have RedVines. It's a licorice. To be honest, this kind of goes hand in hand with Twizzlers, which is right below it. So honestly, I'm kind of gonna pair them together. I know they're different brands, but come on, let's be honest here. I've only heard of Twizzlers. I really haven't had RedVines. Can't tell you much about that. But overall, I like Twizzlers. They're pretty good. They actually are very kind of snackable. They're very shareable as well. Honestly, there's usually enough in there to sort of kind of pass it around. And I know some people don't like licorice, but honestly, I do like Twizzlers. They're pretty good. And on top of that, I think that they also come in little bite sizes as well. Sometimes theaters have those as well. With that in mind, I think Twizzlers, and I'm also going to throw RedVines in there. They're good. They're pretty solid. I'm going to be putting them at a B tier, both of them, because they go hand in hand. Next, we have cookie dough. Another staple when it comes to the shareable sort of chocolatey ones, small bite-sized little snacks when it comes to movie theater snacks and stuff like that. Cookie dough is pretty good. Honestly, I prefer just regular cookie type stuff, like the crunches, sort of in that sort of realm. And with that being in mind, as much as I love cookies, probably wouldn't go for cookie dough particularly. They're not bad. They definitely do the trick. If I were to go in a group and somebody went with that, I wouldn't be mad at them. I'm not gonna be mad. But again, I would have been like better off going with crunch or something else. But it's respectable overall. And again, it's another very shareable thing. So with that in mind, I'm gonna be putting it at a B minus. That feels good. Next, we have Milk Duds. Milk Duds are not my favorite when it comes to chocolatey kind of shareable things, similar to what I just talked about with cookie dough. There's better ones. It does the trick. It's just straight chocolate. Got a little caramel in there. It's a classic snack overall, but not my preferred. I'm not huge into caramel, to be honest. So there's that. But as a snack, I guess it's all right. I'm going to be putting Milk Duds at a C. Next, we have Goobers, what old people call children nowadays. Listen, Goobers, again, there are better brands, but honestly, I think Goobers are kind of underrated when it comes to it. A lot of theaters that I've gone to actually don't have any Goobers on the actual rack, but they're pretty solid. There's not really much to say about them. I mean, listen, I like the peanuts and chocolate combination. Always been a fan of that. I love chocolate covered almonds and stuff like that. That's pretty good. I know what you're saying. Didn't you put Almond Joy in C tier? I did. But you know what? You make your own tier list, all right? But seriously though, Goobers are all right. It depends on the peanut that you actually cover in chocolate. But honestly, gonna be putting the Goobers at the B tier. Pretty solid. Next, we have straight, probably as stock as you can get it, a Hershey bar. If these come in a box or something like that, it would be pretty good to bring it to the theater. But as far as taking like a bar into the theater, it is a little weird. I know they're cut up into little chunks, but that just seems a little messy. And to be honest, it's a little too simplistic for me. I prefer there to be some kind of extra added element, whether that be a peanut or a raisin or something to kind of complement the chocolate. That's kind of what I like more, personally. I don't like just straight milk chocolate a lot of the time. But, I mean, Hershey's is alright. It is a quality chocolate. But really, I can only have a few before I get tired of them. So I'm going to be putting straight Hershey chocolate bar at a high C tier. Alright, this next one, I actually have no idea what that is. So, it's Charleston Chew, I think it says. Forgive me, have no idea. Yeah. So I'm gonna be just omitting that one. Next we have M&Ms. Really like M&Ms. I like the peanut M&Ms. I like the regular M&Ms. Both of them are great. Really a big fan, honestly. I think they're so shareable. They hit the spot. I like the little shell they have over it. It kind of gives an extra element, and you know when you're eating an M&M, as shareable as you can get it, as classic as you can get it. So because of that, I'm going to be putting M&Ms and multiple M&Ms, whether that be the peanut one that's coming up, you know, or the regular one. Again, definitely be putting them at an A tier. Next we have Sour Patch. I'm a huge fan of Sour Patch. I love sour things, so it's a classic snack. This has probably got to be up there with, you know, one of the most bought snacks when it comes to actually going to the theater with it. And it's just a staple, honestly. It hits that sort of sweet tooth that you may have, but adds a little sour to it, and they're so addicting. I really love Sour Patch, honestly. I'll be putting Sour Patch Candy at an S tier. Classic, absolutely classic. Next we have the Haribo Gold Bears. I believe this is pretty popular in the UK, and it's pretty popular here. They're kind of like gummy bears in a way. I do like them. You know, again, I like the gummy bears, never been my go-to. Same with like jelly beans and stuff like that. They're good, but it's never been something that I would go out of my way to get, nor is it something that I would get to go to a movie theater or something like that. So because of that, personally, I'm going to be putting them at a B minus. I could see why somebody would like to get this, but again, that wouldn't be me. Dibs. It's been a while since I've had Dibs, but I think they're great. It's a great hybrid of snackable but ice cream. Those two things that people love. And I love ice cream. I love snackable chocolate things. And this just combines them too. It's really nice actually to have sort of a cold, not really many snacks or drinks that are, other than the drinks that are cold, that you can bring into the theater. That makes sense. You can't really bring like a popsicle or ice cream in there. I mean, you could, but you know, you probably don't want to because it'll melt or stuff like that. But Dibs is the perfect medium. I think it's a great snack. It's the perfect snack to bring into the theater and share with people. You know, if you want something kind of ice creamy, but also something that you can pass around and share. And it comes in a nice little round box, almost like it's made for this. Plus, the one that they have in the picture, Crunch, is probably one of my favorite flavors of anything. So, Dibs are definitely superior. They're elite S tier. Next, we have pizza. Pizza's kind of messy. It's a little overkill, to be honest. Don't know why you would be bringing that into the theater. I've never really understood buying actual food at the theater unless you haven't eaten anything, or unless it's like a dine-in theater. That's different. But just regular theater, I have never really gone for the pizza, to be honest. But as a snack, you know, pizza as a food is superior. It's S tier. We'll always love pizza. Any kind of pizza, I'm there. Definitely the GOAT. But when it comes to movie theater snacks, if we're putting it that in the scope of things, honestly, it's not something you want probably to bring into the theater, to be honest. Even if it's one slice, it's just a little over the top, to be honest. So because of that, you know, as much as I love pizza, I'm gonna be putting it at a C tier. I gotta be honest. It doesn't really hold up as a movie theater snack. Next we have peanut M&Ms. These are even better than the chocolate ones, in my opinion. Just straight chocolate. I love the peanut ones. They're so good. They give you that crunch that you want, but also that chocolatey goodness. And plus, again, super shareable. So, like I said about the M&Ms, I'm going to be putting them in the same spot. Even though I like the peanut ones a little more, not enough to be put in the S tier. So, going straight in the A tier. So I don't know what this is, to be completely frank with you. Good and plenty. I've never had them, be completely honest. They look like pills. I don't know. Prescription looks like the doctor threw in the weekly pill and threw it in there. That's what it looks like. I think maybe that's what they were going for, but because of that, omitting this one as well. SweetTarts. This is another sort of soury kind. If I remember correctly, it's been a while since I've had a sweet tart, but it is like a hint of it has like a little bit of sourness in there, if I remember correctly, even though it is called SweetTarts. They're pretty good. I believe they're a little harder, on the harder side. They're not like something that kind of melts in your mouth. But, you know, I like the flavor of them. I like SweetTarts. Probably wouldn't be my go-to, but I like it. It's a little off the cuff, and honestly, I like the flavor of it overall. So, just going to be putting that in the B tier here. Next is Lemonheads, if you want to go straight for something really sour. Honestly, it's a little one note. That's the problem that I have with Lemonheads. They're very one note. They're one dimensional. It's just lemon. And I know you could probably say the same argument about chocolate stuff. That's fine. But I'm just saying when it comes to Lemonhead, it's one flavor that kind of gets old fast. So it's not super ideal when it comes to bringing it to movie theater and just kind of sharing it. Wouldn't be my go-to, and it's too specific. It doesn't cater to everybody. Let's say you were going to a group or you're going with a friend or somebody else. It's one-dimensional. You really got to commit to the flavor. Because of that, they can already say, well, why the hell did he get Lemonheads? You know, I asked for something sour. Anyways, a whole argument starts, and now you're not friends anymore. So, you know, because of that, Lemonheads is going to go at a C- tier. So not familiar with this brand, but they look to be like little fruit snacks. If we're judging off that, I like fruit snacks a lot. I think they have always been very good. I love the combination. I love the texture of them. I love the taste from everything I've had. And it just takes you back to childhood. And just having that shareable sort of ness and having it, you know, it's colorful, it's flavorful. I'm a fan. I'm a fan when it comes to fruit snacks. So I'm going to be putting them at a high B tier. I think that's where they go. All right, next we have Twix. I think Twix are very good. They're actually one of my favorite chocolate types, to be honest. Out of all the different chocolate bars that there are out there, Twix might be one of my favorite, believe it or not. But how do they hold up as a movie theater snack? You know, if it was a big box or if they had little bite-sized ones, it'd be better. But honestly, looking back on my list, I did put KitKat on the S tier. Personally, though, I gotta revisit that. I do have to make a comment about that. Now, looking back, as a movie theater snack, KitKat's probably not the way to go. They only come with 4, unless you're coming alone, which is fine. Or with somebody else, you can do split 2 and 2. But KitKat's not the preferred snack, unless it comes in the little mini bite-sized ones that they have in a little pouch or whatever. But, you know, again, looking back, I might move KitKat down to an A+, because I really do love KitKats, probably one of my favorites. But, again, as a movie theater snack, might not hold up as well. Same thing with Twix, going to be putting it at the A tier. Next, we have Nachos. And I don't know what this is back here. It looks like a fan or something behind the Nachos. I guess these were blazing hot. They needed to cool them down or something. But anyways, and you know, you got to love the upcharged jalapenos. You know, they have 50 cents to add jalapenos. I like Nachos. I think they're pretty solid. I think they're really good. They're really snackable. Usually, they kind of are simplistic when they're served to you. It's just a little wad of cheese in a little box thing and a little carton with chips. You know, nothing amazing. But honestly, they're not too messy. They're pretty good. They kind of get that savory tooth that you might have when you go there. They add a little salt to the sweetness that you bring in with you. Because we all know you're salty. But with all that being said, Nachos, pretty good, pretty superior. I'm going to be putting them at a solid S tier, S-. Airheads, I love Airheads. I think they're really I love the sourness of them. I actually really like the texture as well. I know they're really hard to kind of chew and bite into, but they're not annoying to eat in a way like Laffy Taffies are or something like that. They're pretty solid, and I really like them. I really like the flavor. Always been a fan of them. If they come in a little box with mini ones, that's perfect. But I probably wouldn't come in with an Airhead unless it was like a really long one or a rolled up one. It wouldn't translate that well into an actual snack. But if these are bite size, I would definitely put them at an A+ tier. Really good. Next is Mike and Ike. Mike and Ike's, I'm not a huge fan. Never really been into them that much. Would never choose it to go into a theater with. I don't think I've ever gone with anybody that willingly chose Mike and Ike. Like they said, yeah, I'm going to have my Mike and Ike today. That's never happened before. So, you know, personally, Mike and Ike is D tier for me. Buncha Crunch. This might be my second or first favorite snackable, shareable movie theater snack. This one's my go-to every time if I ever do get something sweet at the movie theater. Always got to have Buncha Crunch. It's that perfect mix of crunch candy, which is one of my many favorite chocolate bars, and just having them rolled up into like a little jumbled up ball, right? Like a Buncha Crunch, as it were. It just fits in your mouth, and it's just, I don't know, it's perfect. Hopefully none of these sound bites get taken out of context. Alright, Buncha Crunch is an S for me. Alright, next we have wings. A bit redundant, same thing with the pizza. Don't understand it as a theater snack. Unless they're straight, have no sauce on them or anything, they really aren't going to make for a good snack. I do like wings as a food, but as a movie theater snack, they just sound a little messy. They sound a little greasy. I don't know if I'm all into that, and I probably would end up making a mess. And it wouldn't just be me. I'm not a slob or something, all right? I'm not just devouring, like, I'm not smearing the buffalo sauce over me while we're watching. I'm just saying that, you know, it's bound to happen because every time I've ever had wings, buffalo wings, any kind of wings, it's very messy, needed a lot of napkins. So because of that, I'm going to be putting them at a low C tier. Next is hot dog. Hot dog's not as messy as the other ones. Again, I'm just saying, it's not a sauce. There's not a bunch of sauce on it. Yeah, there's ketchup, but it's pretty smooth, pretty clean process, and it's fast, easy to eat. So, you know, hot dogs, depending on the joint, are not bad. Honestly, I would put them over other sort of savory foods out there. Because of that, I'm going to be putting them at the B tier. Next, we have Gooey Bites, Cinnabon Gooey Bites. Speaking of messy, you know, these are a little sticky, but they're really good. I'm a big fan of Cinnabon. I love their Cinnabuns or whatever they're called. I really hope none of this gets taken out of context. They're good. They're very good. I'm going to be putting them at a B tier. Next, we have sort of these slushy, icy things. Now we're getting into more of the drinks. There's a few of these that are going to be coming up. But as far as the drinks are concerned, I do like these. I like the slushy, icy things. I think they're very flavorful. It can be a little redundant. I think it's almost sometimes too cold when you're bringing it in there. It can be a little annoying to drink sometimes. And sometimes they can be a little overly sweet. But I like them. I've always been a fan of slushies. I think they're very refreshing. They taste very good. So I'm going to be putting the ICEE at an A tier. Next we have churros, little bite-sized churros. Really good. Really good. Always been a fan of churros. They are a little messy though. To bring it to a theater, a bit messy because of the sugar that they put on top of them. But above all, churros is just, it's a great thing to have with you when you're watching something. They have it at theme parks, they have it at baseball games, etc., etc. You can always find churros everywhere. It just is a good snackable little item, and if they are in the little bite-sized versions that they are in that picture, they're very good, honestly. Gonna be putting them at an A+ tier. B+ tier, I'm sorry. Similar to the Gooey Bites. M&Ms, we already talked about them. I'm gonna be putting A tier. Next we have water. Wow, as simple as you can get it. Can't really talk about the flavor, but water's just, I mean, I have to put on the S tier because without it we wouldn't be surviving right now. So just by that principle, just the fact of the matter of the necessity of water, and it just is that thing. If you don't want soda at a movie theater, if you don't want soda and you don't want anything sweet and you don't want icy or anything like that, you don't have much choices. You got to get water, or you get vitamin water or something. But again, water's gonna be the thing to go to. So just gonna be putting that S. You know, complements most things. You can't go wrong. Wow, look at that. Popcorn. The staple of every single visit to a movie theater. Big fan of popcorn. The perfect thing to eat. It can be surprisingly messy sometimes. They come in big bowls, big sizes a lot of the time. So they kind of spill around. And if you put a lot of butter all over and stuff, it could be a little, messy on the hands. But popcorn, other than that, is the staple thing. You combine it with other things, it tastes great with some of the sweeter stuff that you have before it and some of the savory stuff. So popcorn is just the way to go, and you just can't help but keep going back for more and more. Popcorn, S tier, hands down. Next is Raisenets. These are some of my favorites. I love Raisenets. The chocolate raisin combo is so good. And again, something about it just screams movie theater. It just, I don't know, it's the perfect snack to have. Really big fan of these. Great combination. Gonna be putting these at the S tier. Next we have Reese's Pieces. Honestly, I prefer Reese's Peanut Butter Cup over Reese's Pieces. I like it. They're just not my go-to. Sometimes, for me, peanut butter is best only in certain things. So when it comes to stuff like that, I don't know. I just would much prefer something else. I would definitely go for Raisinets or Buncha Crunch, or I'd even go for cookie dough or something like that over Reese's Pieces. So Reese's Pieces for me gets a D. C tier. Alright, so I don't know what the hell I'm looking at. I don't know if I'm reading this correctly. Cheetos Popcorn. Honestly, I've never had that, but just by principle of the matter, you better really like it because there's a lot in there. So, again, they might be God tier, it might be S tier, but I don't know, I haven't tried it. Let me know if you guys have tried the Cheetos Popcorn. So I can't rate it. Honestly, I want to put it at a D tier or F tier just because of the principle of the matter that you have flavored popcorn like this, but I'm going to be omitting it. Next is cheese sticks. Haven't had a great experience with these, honestly. I think they are really solid. Really bite-sized, something easy to eat as well. When it comes to savory stuff, this is also a pretty good option. Last time I went to the theater and got these, my local theater, they were cold. The high schooler that put them in the little heater thing didn't complete it all the way. They were kind of cold. Pretty nasty. That left a bad taste in my mouth. But that'd be unfair to kind of rate this based off of that experience. But overall, cheese sticks, mozzarella sticks, not bad. Just, pretty solid. Again, not wouldn't be my go-to savory. Honestly, I would still prefer nachos, but gonna be putting it at a B- tier. That seems fair. Soda, soda and drinks like that, Minute Maid, everything other than water and ICEE. It's not bad. I think that I don't really drink soda that much. It's not really good for you. Would never go out of my way to get soda unless it came with a meal or something like that. Me personally, again, everybody loves soda and there's nothing wrong with soda, but for me personally, I just wouldn't go for it, honestly. Soda's a C tier. Corn nuggets, I don't know. Honestly, this is very specific. I have never been to a movie theater that has these, but I think that I'd be putting them at I'll put it at a C tier next to the pizza and the wings. Kind of the same thing. Corn nuggets, it's too specific. Next we have sour Skittles and regular Skittles. I am a big fan of sour Skittles. Again, love anything sour. These can be a bit much sometimes. It's getting through a whole box alone feels like a lot sometimes, but I really do like the flavor of sour Skittles and everything, and it's so shareable, so bite-sized. So really like both of these a lot, regular and sour. So we're going to be putting both of these on the A tier. Next we have Snow Caps. Personally, they're alright. I don't think they're all that. I really don't understand why you would get these over anything else. Maybe you're in a festive mood or it's Christmas or something. You want something snow related. I don't know. I don't know why you would go for these specifically, but they're okay. They're okay at best. I've never been blown away. Let me put in these at a D tier. Snow Caps are meh. Starburst, I do like Starbursts. They kind of get stuck in your teeth, though. That's the only problem with them. But I do like the flavor of them. They almost have, they're very tangy, very flavorful. And the texture is similar to something like Airhead or something like that, but not as strong or anything like that. So I like these, really bite-sized. Usually they come in little packages. Yeah, I like Starburst. I'm going to be putting them in an A tier. Whoppers, I don't like Whoppers, and we're not talking about the BK ones. Yeah, not my favorite. I'm not a huge fan of super crunchy chocolate things. I like Crunch Bar, but that's different than something like this, which is actually like it's just too crunchy. Like it when you bite down into it, you literally hear a crunch. I don't know. Just not a huge fan of these, to be honest. I'd be putting it at D tier. It's not so bad that I'd be putting it in F tier, but, you know, they're not that great. So I'm going to be putting it at the D tier here. And finally, I think that's coffee. That's interesting. I'm not much of a coffee drinker. I like coffee, but I just don't drink it that much. If you need to stay awake, I guess this is good for you. I guess it's good to pair with chocolate, maybe, or stuff like that. So, I could see people bringing this in here. I mean, personally, for me, I don't really have it that much. You know, I could go for a coffee. If somebody got coffee at the theater, that wouldn't be too bad. And it matches with a lot of other things. I don't know if it matches with popcorn very well, but maybe something like Raisenets or the Dibs if you want sort of a hot and cold thing kind of going on. So, overall, coffee's not bad. I'm going to be putting that at a B tier. And that concludes our tier list here. Here it is, my movie theater snack tier list. Let me know below what you think about it. This is a very long video. If you made it this far, thank you very much for watching. Hope you were entertained. Let me know below what you like, what you disagree with. And I will catch you on the next tier list. Be sure to hit that subscribe button. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.